Hey everyone, my name is Austin and this channel is all about digging deeper and going further to better understand faith and film and everything that is in between. That includes movie discussions, trilogy talks, Blu-ray hauls, and much, much more. Welcome back to our Lord of the Rings series. In this video, we will be wrapping up with the Fellowship of the Ring, the first in the 3 movies in this trilogy. But before I get started, if this is your first time on the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm getting very close to 200 subscribers and would love if this was the video that took me there. And of course, as always, if you've been here before, you know, like the video so we can make sure as many people as possible can check it out. I put up a new video every Friday and I don't want you to miss any new content. Also, since we're wrapping up Fellowship of the Ring in this video, comment down below with your favorite character in the Fellowship of the Ring in particular. Obviously, a lot of the characters carry over throughout all 3 movies. There's a few that are just in this one, so I'm excited to see what you would pick. If you could pick your favorite character just in the Fellowship of the Ring, share that in the comments down below, and let's get started. So what's left of the Fellowship has now reached Lothlorien, and as they're entering, they are greeted by a group of elves. And the lesson here is do not breathe so loudly that you could be shot in the dark. That's it for today's video. I'll see you in the next one. I'm kidding. So, the Fellowship is brought before Galadriel and they catch her up on everything that has happened up until this point. And when she hears of Gandalf's passing, though all of them are filled with sadness and despair, she says these words: "We do not yet know his full purpose." Even after hearing of his death, she knows that there could be a greater purpose to what has happened. And similarly for us, God works in ways that some we can and some we cannot see. And she continues, hope remains while the company is true. So she sends the Fellowship off for some rest, and her and Frodo meet at a fountain that has a mirror pool in it. And he sees a potential future that could happen if certain events were to transpire. And after seeing this and feeling some worry, he actually willingly offers the ring to her. Now, this scene always confused me growing up because I didn't quite understand everything that was going on. But since then, I think I've developed a pretty decent understanding, along with doing some research of what takes place in this scene. After Galadriel goes all dark, she comes back to herself and says, "I've passed the test." And this test is that she would have liked to take the power of the ring and use it to spread what she's done in Lothlorien throughout Middle-earth. But she recognizes that the ring wouldn't have allowed that to happen, and we have seen kind of a glimpse of what the ring would do through her. She recognizes this and lets that go. Next, the Fellowship departs from Lothlorien, and after some time traveling downriver, arrive at the shores of Nen Hethul. While off getting some supplies, Boromir and Frodo come together. And Boromir tries to convince Frodo that there are other ways that they can share the burden of the ring, and other ways to use it against the enemy and for the people. We hear whispers surrounding him as he is going through these thoughts and then tries to take the ring from Frodo. The ring is calling to Boromir, and Frodo becomes frightened, puts on the ring, and runs off, and Boromir shouts off in anger before falling and literally getting some sense knocked into him. And his scream of apology is just heartbreaking to hear as he immediately sees his failure in that one moment of weakness. Boromir is someone who always had good intentions, but the ring fed into those intentions and corrupted them for him. So Frodo gets to a point where he feels safe, takes the ring off, and is met by Aragorn, who is put into a similar situation. Frodo then asks him if he can protect him from himself. Like Boromir, the ring begins calling to Aragorn, but like Galadriel, he is willing to let it and Frodo go, promising to look after the others while he's gone. The Fellowship is then ambushed by orcs, and in the panic, some of them are separated. Boromir is protecting Merry and Pippin, calling for help using the Horn of Gondor. And we have now come to what just might be the saddest moment in all of the trilogy. Boromir's last stand. Warning, graphic sadness ahead. Now, I'm not sure if this saying, quote, that I'm about to say came from the books or someone made it up or what, but it perfectly encapsulates Boromir in this scene, so I want to include this. In that moment, his courage shone through, and his love conquered his greed, and his heart conquered his fear. While doing his best to protect the 2 hobbits, an Uruk-hai fires an arrow into his chest. Boromir appears defeated but returns to his feet and continues fighting. Struck by a second arrow, he falls to his knees again, facing Merry and Pippin. Their faces show that they are sure that he is defeated this time. But he rises again before being forced back to the ground by a third arrow. He collapses to his knees again, completely incapable of defending himself or the hobbits any further. The Uruk-hai notches a fourth arrow, but is tackled by Aragorn before he can fire. The two fight, and Aragorn deflects a knife with a sword and decapitates the orc. His foe is slain, and he tends to Boromir, who is slowly passing. Boromir immediately asks where Frodo is, and when Aragorn tells him that he let him go, he replies that Aragorn has done what he could not. He confesses that he tried to take the ring, begging Aragorn for forgiveness. Aragorn reminds him that he has fought bravely and kept his honor in seeking redemption for his actions. But Boromir fears that his people will fail now because of what he has done. And Aragorn then promises him that he will not let the White City fall, nor its people, saying, "our people." With this, the two have reached a place of commonality. Before passing, Boromir says, "I would have followed you, my brother, my captain, my king." Boromir has gone from a point of bitterness and anger towards Aragorn to a level of respect that goes far above anything he previously felt. Boromir is one of my favorite characters in all of this trilogy. Though he's only in the first movie, unless you watch the extended versions, I'll get to that in a moment, he has an incredible arc that speaks volumes to the power that the ring can have over someone in taking even the best intentions and corrupting them for evil. If you have not seen the extended versions of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, I highly recommend them. In the theatrical versions, Boromir is mostly selfish and a jerk, but the extended versions include some extended and additional scenes that give us much more depth to the character and his relationship with his people and his brother and his father. Okay. That's enough sad talk about Boromir. Let's wrap things up with Frodo and Sam. Sam is the best. He is willing to risk drowning to make sure Frodo does not have to go to Mordor all alone. He reminds Frodo that he made a promise to stay with him, and he does not intend to break that promise. The lesson here is everyone needs a Samwise in their life. If you don't have one, find one. So Boromir is now gone, and Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas regroup. Gimli exclaims that the Fellowship has failed. Aragorn replies, and I didn't catch this until I was putting this video together, reminding them of the words of Galadriel. He says, "Not if we hold true to each other." Just like Galadriel said, "Hope remains while the company is true." And I'm amazed I never caught this before, but it's a brilliant full circle moment of, even in the most dire of situations, remain true to each other and there is hope. Reinvigorated, the trio embarks to rescue Merry and Pippin. Before the credits roll, we will return briefly to Frodo and Sam as they reflect on how far they've come and how far they have yet to go on their journey. Frodo tells Sam how glad he is to have him with him, and they continue and we fade to black. With that, we have finished the Fellowship of the Ring. In case you missed parts of this series, or this is your first time seeing it, or you just want to watch the whole thing straight through, I have created a playlist that I will put at the end of this video, which should be showing up any second, going through the whole series, all 9 parts. Check that out to fill in any of the gaps you may have missed along the way. And as always, thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like it, make sure you're subscribed, and share it with someone who you know will enjoy it just as much as you did. Thank you again, and I will see you in the next video.